My favorite aspect of coaching, I love writing workouts. I love workouts, and I love looking at them. I love analyzing them. I love watching the CrossFit games and when workouts are released and what is really happening in here. Every single workout has a value, right? It should. What is the why? What's the purpose of this workout? And I love looking at the relationships of the three main qualities in a workout, right? So we have three. We've got our distance, our volume. We have our intensity, our speed, strength, power, force. And then we also have our recovery, our rest. And, you know, it's interesting for me when I think about those three qualities, the ones that we focus on all the time is building volume, right? Work capacity. But we also look at intensity, building our speed, building our strength. I think the area that we need to be spending a lot more time focused on is the quality of recovery. That is the majority of people's limitations. And what I mean by that is here's an example. So I was at Reebok HQ in June, and I watched Spencer Hendel, and I'm a huge fan of his, and I'm just watching him do 100 handstand push-ups and mesmerized by it, right? And I'm watching him do it, and I realized like he's doing 3 handstand push-ups, and then he's coming off the wall and he's shaking out his arms and taking 10 seconds of rest. It's always 3 and 10, 3 and 10. And so when he gets off the wall, I'm just curious on why, right? I want to know why, like as writing that workout. And he says, well, that's the fastest way for me to do 100 handstand push-ups per time. And I said, you do 3 and then 10? And he says, well, but if I do 4, I'll blow up. My arms will fatigue and I can't do any more, and my time will be less. And he says, also what's true is if I do 9, my arms will fatigue. 9 seconds of rest, my arms will fatigue, and I'll blow up. And I asked him, I said, but if you're always doing 3 and 10 and 3 and 10, how would your body to learn to do anything other than 3 and 10? And here's a guy that wants to learn, right? You want to know what makes great athletes great? They want to learn. If an athlete doesn't want to learn, then I can't help you, because if you don't want to learn, I'm never going to make you confident. So he says to me, he says, well, so then what would you recommend? Like, what is your thought on it? And now here's my chance, right? You imagine an athlete of that level. He is vulnerable, right? Because he knows that I'm about to tell him something different, and he has to be receptive, but I don't want to be condescending. If I am, in that moment of vulnerability, I will lose him forever. And anybody that walks in the door to a CrossFit gym for the first time is vulnerable. We are, as coaches, in an incredible position to lose them forever, to win them forever. So when he asked that, like, I really must give him an answer that he logically can understand and it makes sense to him. And so I told him, I said, you know, the thing about it is that if you're always doing 3 and 10 and 3 and 10, that's all you're going to actually ever be able to do. So my question is what's your limitation in doing something different? Is it your strength? And he said, well, no, it's not obviously my strength, because I could do 100 of them, and I agree with you. I said, so why can't you do more though? And he says, because I get tired. But what if I can remove that fatigue out at a faster rate? If I can remove your fatigue, he said, well, then I could do more. So then let's address that. How do I improve your rate of recovery? And that comes back to the quality of recovery, right? We need to design workouts that are focused not on volume, it's not on his intensity, right? It is focused on recovery. So I told him, I said, you know what? The purpose of training is to create adaptations. We know we put a stimulus on the body, we give it good nutrition, we give it good rest, there will be an adaptation. So let's put quality of recovery into your workouts. Why not do your 3, get off the wall, and instead of just shaking out for 10 seconds, pick up a PVC and clear the fatigue in a very similar movement, a shoulder press with a PVC pipe, nice and slow. These are the same exact movement that built the fatigue. And now what we're going to do is clear the fatigue in an identical movement pattern. Yes, it is absolutely going to be more difficult for you, but that's the focus of the workout. I want you to create the fatigue so I now could focus on the quality of the clearing of the fatigue. High intensity, low intensity, anaerobic, Aerobic, fast twitch, slow twitch, build fatigue, clear fatigue, create lactate, clear lactate. Drop the PVC, take your 10 seconds, go back down again. We are going to focus on your ability to accelerate the rate you can clear that fatigue. And that's the purpose of the workout. For me, programming for athletes is a puzzle. It's a puzzle, and when an athlete shares something with you and creates this vulnerability, we have an opportunity right then and there to help. A good coach must be able to logically explain the why. What is the purpose of this workout? And it must make sense. If it doesn't make sense, then that might not be the coach for you. I can't tell you how many coaches, they write workouts and I ask, what's the purpose of it? And they're like, mental toughness. I don't even know what that means. What is the metabolic adaptation? What is the muscle fiber adaptation? You need to ask the why. Hold your coach accountable. The reason why I've learned so much is because on an elite level, I'm asked the why all the time. One example. I gave a workout to Katrin Davidsdottir in the pool. And I said to her, what I want you to do is you're going to do 8 lengths of the pool. I want you to do a series of dolphin kicks off the wall, underwater. I want you to surface. I want you then to head up swim for a series of strokes and then easy into the wall. Take 15 seconds of rest 8 times through. So she goes down beautifully, she comes back beautifully, and when she hits the wall, she's all, what's the purpose of this? Now, for me, my heart was filled with happiness, right? I loved it. I love that she is thinking about it and she can't sort it out in her head and she wants to know. And so I asked her, I said, so Katrin, when you're at the CrossFit Games in Los Angeles and you have a beach event and you have to run from the sand into the water, can you explain how you do that? She says to me, she says, well, I run as hard as I can to the water till the water gets waist deep and my speed slows down. I'll dive in, I'll porpoise. If I hit the bottom, I'll jump off the bottom. Eventually, I'll start swimming and a wave will come. I'll go under the wave, do a series of dolphin kicks. I'll come up, I'll hit the surface, head up, swim until the next wave comes. I'll go, oh, never mind, I understand. And that's the magic of these elites, is they're elite because they want to know why. And for me, I value that answer, right? I mean, I look at my performance as a coach. It's not, I've been very lucky to coach a lot of champions, a lot. And a lot of coaches would love to coach champions at the CrossFit Games, and I am incredibly grateful for that. As I said, I'm a fan of the sport, and I love seeing them be successful. I love that. But that's not how I judge my performance. I judge my performance if they're interested in coming back to me tomorrow. If I can create a value of the millions of things that they can do in the day that they pick me to want to be with tomorrow, then that's a success.